We need to create space when it comes to all the people God is bringing our way. We have been pleasantly surprised. I hate to use the word shocked because that sounds to lack faith, but we have been surprised with the amount of growth God has brought our way. And we firmly believe it's our responsibility to manage that growth. We're landlocked. We can't build a larger facility here. That's not an option. There's only so many services we can add. We're at 2 services. We could go to 3. We certainly in the next couple of years may have to investigate going to 4 services. But what are we supposed to do after that? Do we just come to a place of saying, well, that's it, that's as large as we can be, and turn people away that are coming to hear the gospel? We don't think that's an option. So we are wanting to create space through a more recent phenomenon called multi-site. Multi-site has been happening across our nation now strongly for 10 years and even for 15 years. The idea is this, that with the use of modern technology, you can have one church meeting in 2 different locations. That's a new thought for a lot of people. But it wasn't that many years ago, a couple of decades ago, the idea of 2 services in one church was brand new to people. People thought, well, the church can't be unified. That's not one church, that's 2 churches. No, it's one church meeting at 2 separate times, 8:30 and 11. Well, now we're looking at saying we're one church, but not simply meeting at 2 different times, but meeting at 2 different locations. The use of technology will allow us to do this. We could church plant. A lot of people think, why not just plant a church? That really comes down to stewardship and wisdom. Do you know that 80% of church plants fail and 90% of multi-sites succeed? God is doing something special here. We can't explain it all. We're trying to be faithful. We're trying to live worthy of the calling we've received, but God is blessing what we're doing here. And we don't think that needs to be limited by our property lines. So multi-site will allow us, well, here's the strategy we would take. We would ask approximately 150 to 200 people to begin holding services at another location. Maybe in one of the suburbs, maybe a different place in our city. But they would have all of their own ministries. They would have a children's ministry there. They would have their own guest services. They would have their own worship team. But then perhaps, and there's several ways to do this, perhaps we would bring in live the video of the sermon. A lot of people react to that thinking they wouldn't want to watch the sermon online or on a screen. But we've discovered that people across the nation, it doesn't faze them. We live in a very technological society and generation. And even in larger churches, what they discover is people in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th row actually watch the screen more than they watch the preacher on the stage. So other churches, we've had a consultant already come in and talk us through this, and we think that's the next step. Again, this is simply about creating spaces. We don't have the goal to be as large of a church as we can be. That's not our goal. We just want to reach everyone God is allowing us to reach. And multi-site seems to be the next step to allow us to do that as effectively as possible.